Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Roar Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Laura Sturm.
Welcome to episode 164. How are you, Josh Rohr?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Cool.
So what's going on?
So a couple updates. USA Powerlifting just announced the qualifying totals for Raw Nationals in 2025, and they are significantly higher than they are currently, which I think is a good thing because, there were issues with, the meet selling out, people not getting in. It's not even February and the Nationals is sold out. So raising them, I think, is a good thing. It'll give the lifters that are in contention a better opportunity to get in versus just not getting in because of a cap. So I think it's good. The other thing with that is Raw Nationals in 2025 is being moved to June instead of the fall, and regionals are then being moved into the fall. So basically, regionals in the fall, it gives people more time to get their qualifying total and then train for nationals. So like as it is now, regionals are like June, July, and then nationals is like September, October. But it's already full. So like if you do regionals this year to qualify, it's already too late because the meet's already full. So now it gives you a chance to do it, essentially 9 months out, qualify through regionals and then train for 9 months for nationals. So it gives you more opportunity to qualify and train. So I like it.
So where can I find the new raw totals? Sorry, the qualifiers, have they been published?
Yeah, they're on the USA Powerlifting website under qualifying totals. So they're there. And how they're done, basically it was just using the lifter database. They were just done the top 20, like the 20th place total for open was used as the qualifying total for each weight class. And then for the age groups, it's the top 10. So it really just kind of cuts it off at like where and they're going to be updated every year based on that. So as performances go up or down, the totals will be adjusted each year to that top 20 for open and top 10 for masters age categories.
Have we ever seen them go down?
Well, there were a few masters classes because there was a previous proposal in that basically if less than 3 people enter nationals or something like that, then the QT automatically goes down 5%, instead of looking at the actual performance of lifters, nationals or not. So this is going to basically take the place of that. So it's going to be based on quality of lifters from every meet versus if people showed up at nationals or not. So it's going to be there's some significant increases in some of the weight classes, and I think that's good. Regionals is still, so the other thing for qualifying for 2025 that we didn't mention is that can only be done at state or regional meets or higher. So like local meets and this is only for Raw Nationals. So qualifying totals, if you hit the total at a local meet, it doesn't count. You have to do it at state or regional. And the idea there is, a higher caliber meet, higher competition. So it's going to kind of be a prerequisite to get to that higher level. But, the other thing is, just to clarify, so regionals this year is still in June or July, depending on what region you're in. So that's actually going to then also be the qualifier for 2025 because regionals is June this year, but it's going to be after nationals next year. So this is the regionals, and regionals registration opens February 1st. So, if you're trying to qualify for 2025 nationals, the regionals coming up in June is the meet to do it. June or July, just depending on the region.
Lots of little nuances. Is that bit about having to be at a state meet or regionals, is that part new?
Yeah, that went into effect, I think January 1 also, but that's for 2025 nationals. So not this current nationals, but yeah. And that's, part of it too is like Raw Nationals being so popular. The idea is like it realistically shouldn't be your second meet. And if people are qualifying for nationals at their, in their second meet, like the standard's probably not quite high enough. So now it's kind of making it where you have to really put together a good total. And then regionals, currently it's still a 50-kilo handicap for top three in your weight class and division. And that'll apply towards this 2024 nationals. So if people signed up without a qualifying total, some people did that and they still need to qualify for this year. If they go to regionals this year and place top three, they get a 50-kilo handicap. So that counts. But next year, I'm not sure what the format is yet. Regionals will still, I don't know if it's going to be like weight class winners automatically get in, or what that's going to be, but it's still going to be one of the required meets to hit your qualifying total at. So it's going to be super competitive there also, going forward.
Wow.
What was the question? You asked me a question.
If that was a new thing, the state qualification thing. So like to summarize, the big changes are the qualifying totals have changed.
Yep.
They've jumped a lot, and now you have to hit the qualifying totals at a state or regional meet.
State, regional, or higher. So like if you lift at a collegiate nationals, that would count. If you lift at like a World Cup, that would count. It's basically like a higher level competition.
Right. And regionals is moving, so you can qualify earlier.
Yep.
But not this year, next year.
Correct.
All right. So that was a lot of things right there.
That is a lot of things. And I guess that's only for Raw as well. So the qualifying totals for equipped has not changed. Yeah.
Because we just need more equipped lifters.
Yeah. Agree. Let's see. We got an email.
I saw that. I'm like
Believe it or
excited
not.
about this scenario.
Yeah. So we have a listener that emailed and wanted some advice. So we will just do it here. So I'll just read the whole email. And I told this lifter I would take their name out. So they are officially Lifter Jane Doe. Hi, Josh. I'm a listener of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, and I have a question. I listened to the Oh No, Nationals registration is closed. Now what do I do? Most recent episode, and I'm in this boat. I got up at 4:30 a.m. to register, and my day in division was already full. My bucket list is to go to the Arnold. I was invited this year, but because I didn't even consider that could happen, I booked an overseas trip and can't go. So I'm trying to figure out what meet I should do in 2024 since I can't go to Salt Lake City. Only one I'm registered for is the Georgia State Championships. And it didn't occur to me I could go to Equip Nationals and lift raw. Can you offer any advice on what would give me the best chance to get an invite to the 2025 Arnold? I'm an M3, so my QT is not an issue for any of the choices below. Regionals, World Cup in Memphis, Equip Nationals. Anywho, any direction is appreciated. Okay. So I will, I guess, go down through those. Well, let's start with this. The Arnold itself is basically a yearly renewal thing. So like there's no guarantee each year that USA Powerlifting is back in there. So we'll start with that. Like, so there is no ever guarantee that USA Powerlifting is ever in the Arnold, but we're going on, I don't know, since 2008 was the first year we were in there. So assuming we're in, the most safe way to get an invite is to get your pro card. And we talked about that in the past. So regionals, I think, would be a good option. The best lifter at regionals gets a Masters Pro card. Getting top 15 as a Masters lifter overall at Raw Nationals will get your pro card. Top 3 at the Masters World Cup, get your pro card. That would be the first thing, is if you do one of those events that get your pro card. Now, the other thing to keep in mind there is, we're Equip Nationals came up. You can go to Equip Nationals, and if you get top 10 there, you get your pro card, but that's for the Equip division. So whether you lift raw or not at the Equip division, you're considered equipped. So that would not get you into the Arnold in the raw division. But if you got your pro card at Equip Nationals, that would get you to the Arnold in the Equip division. So if you lift raw there, that's fine, but just know that those are separate. The other thing there is you missed the window to get into Raw Nationals. Like if you don't have your pro card, the traditional only way you get an invite is if you lift it at Nationals. So the fact that you don't get to go to Nationals this year is going to be basically your limitation to getting to the Arnold if you don't have a pro card. On the flip side, if you get your pro card prior to Nationals, you get to go to Nationals still. So I think all of your focus needs to be on earning the Masters Pro card. That's really the only way to the Arnold that I see right now. Maybe some things change, but that's the only path forward I see to getting to the Arnold for next year for sure is go to do a meet and earn your pro card.
And doing a meet means regionals to get your pro card for her
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, regionals, the Masters World Cup in Memphis would be an option
Mm.
too, because it's top 3
Ah.
Masters there, get a pro card.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the only options for, on the, and then we'll just stick to the Raw side, like getting your pro card on the Raw side. It's at this point, it's doing regionals and getting best Masters lifter, or doing the Masters World Cup and getting top 3 overall for the Masters best lifter, and hitting the minimum dots. That's the other aspect of it. Female Masters have to have a 400 minimum age adjusted dots. In addition to placing those top 3 or top 1 at regionals. So,
or she could go to the dark side and go to Equip Nationals, become an Equip lifter, get a pro card and equipped, and then go to the Arnold as an Equip lifter.
So honestly, if just getting to the Arnold is your ultimate goal, however you get there, then, go on the equip side may be an easier path. I don't know. Easier is a hard thing to say too, because you still have to get top 10 there to get a pro card, but that might be an avenue to go, especially being that you're locked out of Raw Nationals this year. So the decision is this: put your eggs in the basket of getting a pro card on the master side for Raw, which would mean either regionals or World Cup, or putting your eggs in the basket on the Equip side, going to Equip Nationals and trying to get top 10 overall as a Masters lifter to get your pro card there, and then going to the Arnold and the Equip division.
And there's a minimum dots for both Equipped and
yeah, they're
Raw?
the same. It's 400 for the Masters. It's a 400 age adjusted for women and 425 age adjusted for men.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, as an M3 lifter, probably not a whole lot of M3 lifters. Probably less at Equipped.
Yeah, but it's Masters, so it's all the Masters together using age adjusted. So you're against
gotcha.
M1s, M2s,
Okay.
M3s, 4s, 5s, 6, etc.
Right.
So yeah, so it's competitive. So like to be blunt, it's not easy to get there. So, I if it were me and my dream is to go to the Arnold, like if it were me, I would cancel my overseas trip. I'm just putting it out there. I know that's probably not an option, but that's the route I personally would go because there's no guarantees that you qualify the following year. People are only getting stronger. So unless you're one of those people that are really getting stronger too, it's going to get harder and harder to qualify every year. So, I hate to be the downer there with that information, but just putting it out there, being honest, like that's probably the route to go. The other thing is you could look at doing the bench only option, because I think that's probably the path of least resistance to getting to the Arnold is doing the bench only and trying to get, your pro card and bench only Masters and doing the same thing. But, again, none of those are easy paths. Like, it just is what it is. So,
well, what about, are there other like odd events at the Arnold anymore? Like the squat challenge isn't a thing?
No, so the only events now are the Pro Series events, because that was the thing now. So there's no squat challenge, there's no deadlift, pro deadlift. It's only the full power and bench only meets, and it's part of the Pro Series. So
gotcha.
I wish I had like a more optimistic or hopeful method, but to me that's it doesn't look good, if I'm being honest. So the only real way to, really kind of make it favorable that you're going to get an invite next year is to get a pro card at this point. I mean, that's really the only way.
Blunt Talk by Josh Rohr.
Yeah.
Straight talk.
Straight talk. Yeah.
Nice.
So, I guess just then that leaves the ball in your lifter Jane Doe. The ball's in your court, like what direction you want to go. Whether you go, World Cup or regionals and try to get the pro card in Raw, or go equip nationals and try to get the pro card in equipped. But either way, I think the pro card is going to be, being that you're not in nationals. That's the only way I see to have a chance at the Arnold next year.
Yeah. I love that we had a listener write in and to ask a question like that. I'd love to see more of those.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
Hint, hint. The other two listeners that we have should do that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, if you do have questions, definitely shoot us an email, plballadspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to answer questions, and blunt as they may be. Rule book review. So I know we kind of stopped that, but I want to there's still some things that we never touched on that I want to touch on just to make sure everybody is aware. So in the past, t-shirts could not have a V-neck. They had to be a round collar. And this is kind of something that's a little bit, maybe people didn't realize, but that verbiage is no longer in the rule book. So it just says a t-shirt has to have a collar. So to me, that means as long as it has a collar, it's good to go, whether it's a V-neck, whatever. So, people that were always trying to wear V-neck shirts, like, as far as I'm concerned, the rule book doesn't say that anymore. So as long as it's got a collar, you're good to go.
I never understood that.
Yeah, I
It
think
seemed a little random.
I mean, again, that was also, I mean, a lot of the stuff from the IPF, like that we used to have to follow, like a lot of that was based on, I don't know, I guess for lack of a better term, modesty and like controlling the presentation. That's why everybody has to wear a t-shirt in the IPF for all three lifts. USA Powerlifting, women and men can deadlift without a t-shirt. And the only reason they have to wear it in squat and bench is for sanitary reasons, because the bar actually comes in contact with the back, or the bench comes in contact with the back, so it's more of a sanitary thing there. So anyway, yeah, there's no restriction on round neck or V-neck collars anymore.
Well, and for the deadlift, like you look so much like, buffer. Is that a word? More swole without a t-shirt. So
I mean, speak for yourself.
So you're saying your t-shirt hides the fact that you're not as puff. You're gonna wear one.
Absolutely. Heck yeah.
Nice.
Oh man.
Okay, moving right along. So new lifter tip. I was thinking about this the other day, right? New lifter tip. If you're a new lifter and you've never done a meet, like definitely go to a meet. Definitely, brush up on the rule book and all that. But I think the best way to go to a meet and understand the rules and how a meet works is to volunteer at a meet as your first attendance. And I remember when I was a new lifter, I think that would have intimidated the hell out of me, to just be like, hey, I want to volunteer, but I have no idea about anything. But man, as a meet director, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I'm a totally new lifter, I don't know anything, and I'd like to volunteer, like, how would you receive that? I'd be like, yes.
2 thumbs up.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It'd be amazing. I would love that as a meet director. Not saying I'm going to ever meet direct again, just to be clear. But a new lifter, it shows so much initiative. You learn so much, and the meet directors will literally hug you.
I would literally hug them. Literally.
literally. And that might make them like go, wait, I don't think I want to do that at all, just because now Josh Rohr is like awkwardly hugging you.
Well, any chance of that of that speech work and just got crushed.
But really, wouldn't that be a great way to get new lifters like in the know about
Yeah.
how the whole thing works?
100%.
And the first time I got an email and said, "This is your flight," I was like, "Flight? The hell are they talking about?"
I only live 20 minutes away.
Right. I'm not flying. Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of things.
The terminology, just like knowing, the fact that you do all your squats, then all your benches, then all your deadlifts, like, what are opening attempts? Like, what do you mean I can't go down? I just missed the weight. I want to go down. Just a lot of little
Right.
things that you pick up on, and you can sit back and watch other people make mistakes. That's the thing I always say is like, the best way to learn is to sit back and watch other people making stupid mistakes. And you can do that by volunteering. Like it sounds harsh, but it's true. Like,
Yeah.
See people like not warming up in time and panicking and how that really screws them up. Well, you see other people like completely get wrecked in their meet because their timing's off. Well, guess what? You're going to pay attention to the timing and make sure you get it right when you compete. Just little things like that.
Right.
So yeah, I 100% agree. Like absolutely volunteering is the best way to prep you for your first meet.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it. I like that new lifter tip. Good job.
I just came up with that. I'm amazing.
You 5 out of 5 stars.
All right. Well, that's all I've got, Joshua.
Yeah, that's all I got too. Good talk.
That just got awkward.
It wouldn't have been if you would have said, yeah, good talk. You just like didn't say anything.
Oh, so you're blaming it on me that it got awkward. Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Good talk, Josh. That was awesome. So that's all we've got. What are the standard things that we need to say at the end? Like us,
Follow
give us
us.
a rating.
Yeah. I don't even know how that works. If you have an option somewhere to give us a rating, like at least, so I think it's like usually a star rating, like 4 or 5 stars would be great. Obviously we would love a 5. I don't know if we deserve a 5. We're not that good.
Hey, we're genuine.
Yeah.
We should get a 5-star for genuine.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool. All right. Well,
so next week I'm out of the country. So I'll have to catch you in a couple weeks.
Where are we going?
Out of the country. I'm going to the beach for a week in the Caribbean.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, we may or may not have an episode next week. I don't know yet. It just depends how I feel. But I'd say there's a good chance we won't. So I guess we will see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. Later.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.